Welcome to Protea Weekly. My name is Zane Stevens, and I'm the founder of Protea Financial. We're here on a Wednesday this week. I've just returned from a trip to Oregon. I spent Monday and Tuesday up there. Flew up Monday morning to Portland, did a bunch of good meetings with bankers and CPAs on the Monday, and then on Tuesday, attended day one of the Oregon Wine Symposium. Great event, great state of the industry, tons of really good networking, feeling very energized, even if I'm a bit tired. I got home at 11 p.m. last night, up early today to carry on with my normal life. So feeling a bit tired. That's definitely going to be a long day for me, but feeling energized. So I'm here today, and my plan was to talk about inventory. And we've got a lot of focus on inventory costing. Cost accounting is really important to us. It's very important to me, and we've been doing a lot of blog posts on our website about inventory costing, especially for the wine industry. So if you're in the wine industry, go to proteafinancial.com. Check out our last few blog posts on different methodologies around inventory costing. And I'm going to come back to that, and I will talk about it next week. But this morning I was on LinkedIn, where I do spend a bit of time every morning just having a look at a few posts. And a post that jumped out to me in Sublay. Jordan has a business. He's a CEO of Cloud Accounting Staffing. He's also accountant for out of the Indiana area. And Jordan shared a post today about an expensive lesson they learned about paying a phony bill. Yes, Jordan shared a post about his company when they first started out, learning the expensive lesson that if your processes aren't in place to protect your cash, you can run into a situation where you pay money to somebody pretending to be somebody else, thus costing you a ton of money. In his case, it was in excess of $20,000. And we spoke about cash flow management a lot for the last couple of weeks. First, talking about lines of credit, and then last week specifically talking about collecting your cash through accounts receivable. But I guess it's really important and to highlight, and this is what brought his post really resonated to me, is if we're trying to protect our cash, we need to make sure that we have good processes in place to only pay valid bills and make those payments to valid sources. So let's hear that again. Only pay valid bills and pay them to valid sources. Now, my professional career grew up in South Africa. Electronic internet banking was just what I'm used to. Though we had checks, it wasn't really a viable source because of the poor, mailing system in South Africa. The postal service didn't really exist. A lot of you still use checks these days, and that's great. The chances of you sending it to the wrong person because you're putting a name and they would have to fill in all the details taken to the bank, of that happening is fairly slim, but mail fraud is still a thing. Your check can be stolen, and I don't know if you realize this, but when you send a check out into the world, your bank account number, your bank routing number, who you are, and your address all are shown up on the check. So it's not just a risk of losing that check. You could be opening yourself up to people using your bank account details to withdraw funds from your business, or even worse, your name and address is there, so you open yourself up to identity theft. So checks do come with a risk, though the risk of paying the wrong person is lower. Doesn't mean we haven't seen it happen where checks have been intercepted, deposited into the wrong account, and then you have to fight to the bank and say, hey, why did you let this check go into the wrong bank account? Though we've also seen cases where people make a bank account with the same name or a similar name and deposit it, and then you're just lost. But what this specific post was really focused on was on electronic payments and phishing campaigns. And it's a crazy world out there. Cybersecurity has been a big topic. If you go to our website, Leo Bakarian, who is a cybersecurity expert in the Marin County area in California, wrote two really good articles for our website. One talking about the difficulties of protecting your business through cybersecurity, and then the second one on sort of giving you a sense of how to budget your resources so that you understand what it will cost you to protect yourself in this environment. Really important for all businesses, specifically for accounting businesses where we're dealing with a ton of information. Protea itself, we have over 180 clients. For a lot of them, we are making their payments. So our risk towards phishing is really, really high. We do try to protect ourselves. We have continuous education. We do pay a company to do phishing campaigns with our team members. And if they fall victim to it, they have to attend mandatory training. So we're trying to find ways to protect ourselves. But to the real way to be able to protect your cash in these accounts payable processes is one, to make sure you have an approval process. An approval process generally means there needs to be more than one person involved in making payments on your bills. We're obviously an outsourced accounting company, and we highly recommend as a business that you use an accountant, be it somebody you hire internally or a third party like ourselves to help you with those processes. Somebody to get the bills and capture your accounting software and make the recommendation for that payment to happen. If you're doing it by yourself, you can come under a little bit of pressure. There's no time constraint. Oh my word, I have to pay this. This person's telling me I have to pay it. It can create a little bit of issues where it's not done. So with our processes, we're always getting it in, we're reviewing it, getting the information, sending it to somebody in the right department or the right person in the company going, is this a valid bill? Are you expecting a bill from this payable, this vendor? Does it match the agreement in terms of your contract with them or the verbals that you've had with them? And does the invoice look like it's in place? It's making sure that it's at least the right person we think we should be paying and the right amount we should be paying as a starting point. When it comes to making payment now this is where it gets a little iffy. We recommend people make as much electronic payments as possible because it takes out that risk of a check where your bank account can get stolen and your identity can get stolen. But paying electronic comes with a risk. It is very easy to create a bank letter and say, these are my new bank details. I can do it. There's some banks, looking at you, big banks, especially the top 4, where I can take my Adobe software right now and I can create a letter that looks just like those banks. And I'm not a criminal, and I'm probably not that smart either, especially with, sort of design technology, PDF adjustments, but I'm able to do it. And I've freaked people out before how quickly I've been able to change a standardized letter to put in the correct information. So me, who's lazy with technology and is not trying to be nefarious, can do it. Imagine somebody that has a little bit of motive and intent can do. So it becomes a very difficult situation. So there is a very simple solution to make sure that the bank details you're receiving are valid. Most of the time, you are going to receive them through email. Email is flawed. It's very easy to create an email address. Whereas, zstevens@proteafinancial.com, easy for me to go zstevensproteafinancial@gmail.com. It looks right, feels right, but it's not me. People can go and do that. So always double check the email address to make sure it makes sense from where it's coming from. Once you get those bank details over the email, even if it looks valid, do not believe it is true. What I highly recommend is, if it's coming from a company, is do not call any numbers you see on the letter or on a signature in the email or any instructions they give you. If I'm paying a company, I go straight to the Google, I type in the company name, I find them online, I start double checking some details. Does that address match this address? Are the names spelled the same? Does the website match? Does the website match the email address? Do some high level, do I feel confident that, okay, maybe this is valid? I am checking the validity of that incoming email to go, this makes some sense. I think this is a real person at this company that's sending this information. But still, I do not trust it. I still do not go to that email signature and dial that number. I then go into that website and I try to identify a number at that company that I can call. Either it's a generalized number or a number for their accounting department or owner. And I'll call and say, can I please speak to the person that was listed on the email? I'm hoping they go, sure, I'll put you through to them. Obviously, if they say, sorry, that person doesn't work here, alarm bells should be going. You know that's invalid. Immediately, if it's the emails did look valid, let that company know, hey, I think you've been defrauded. Somebody stole your email address. If it's not and it's a little bit off, reach out to your IT service provider, block it, let everybody in your company know that that's a fraud email. Obviously, if they put it through to you, have a polite conversation, explain to them that you want to make the payment of the bank details you received via the email, but you're looking for verbal confirmation that these are accurate bank details. Go and ask them to read out what they have and match it to the document that you have. Make sure you get verbal confirmation from somebody important. With big companies, I generally don't even ask for the person on the email. I'll go, can I talk to somebody that I can validate bank details I received? They'll probably ask me who I received them from, and then I'll give up the name. But my hope is that they will put me through that person or somebody with authority in that company so that I can get real, true verbal confirmation of those numbers. I tend to take it one step further afterwards and go double check the routing number that's been provided to me and make sure it is the bank that's been said. Outside of that, there's not much more you can do, but checking the validity of the email, is this a real person? Calling up that company after going through a Google search, not using the signature or any numbers in the database or the document received to you, and verbally confirm those bank details before you push forward with it. And remember again to double check before you make that payment with the person in charge at your client or the person you work with to confirm, we 100% do owe these people money. You're happy with the terms of the invoice and the details within it, and I can go ahead and make the payments. Get some buy-in that they are happy. I personally like to have written confirmation that payments are approved to be made. Then be very careful. Double and triple check your numbers when you're putting it into the system. Remember those details as well. If it's a wire, ACH, direct bill pay, whatever it is, make sure that your system is remembering it. And then always double check the details when you're getting future invoices. Some companies like to just put their details at the bottom of the invoice. Just double check it every time. It's another good way when you're getting a fresh invoice to confirm that the details match. That's the first time. One of the big warnings when you're getting in there in terms of protecting your money and making sure that you're paying valid bills to the valid people is if anybody ever sends you a letter to say, hey, we changed our bank or changed our bank account details, that straight away is a warning sign. It is 100% a warning sign to say there is a chance that phishing is trying to be occurred. They are trying to steal my money. So anytime it says, please use new bank details, you need to do this process all over again. Get the validation that this is in fact a real change. We had a case probably 3 years ago now where the email matched, the tone of the emails matched, but when we eventually phoned the person to double check the bank details that were changed, they said, I have not changed my bank. I've been with that bank for 25 years and I don't need it to be changed. Their email system had been hacked. And a person that was trying to steal money was literally sending emails from their inbox. Went to send items. The email existed in his send items. Please make these changes. That person was monitoring in his email box and clearing emails as they were coming in as well. You have to make sure that any change in bank details is a valid change. Once that money goes out the door, it's very difficult to stop it and almost impossible to recover it. If you are a company that cash flow can be tight, the worst thing you can do for your business is to lose money by paying incorrect bills. I know it's a difficult world out there. I know that we want to believe the best in everybody, but when it comes to money, we need to be cautious. Assume the worst until you can prove the best. It's really, really important that we make sure that we have good processes in place to confirm that the bills we are paying are valid and the people we are paying are real and it is not going to be stolen by somebody else. Theft through poor processes is heartbreaking. It's an expensive mistake that you will not be able to rectify. It's, reason number 100 million why a good accounting firm can really help your business. It's not always just about good communication, timely information, but it is having a partner that can put processes in place to protect your business. These mistakes could be small and you survive, but they can be major and sink your business or even personally put you in a really bad situation. Please put good processes in place for approval of invoices, and most importantly, put good processes in place to make sure that you're paying the right person in the right place. There is a lot of fraud out there. Invest in cybersecurity. Invest in a good accountant that will make sure that you are doing the right things to protect yourself. It's a tough world. I hate that phishing is a real problem. I hate that cybersecurity is making us feel less safe. But as we become more connected, these opportunities for bad people become even greater. So create really good processes to protect your business. As I said at the beginning of this call, next week we will be moving on to some inventory costing. We will spend the rest of February talking about inventory costing, specifically how we do it. And I'm also going to share some technology partners that I really like. And I think if you're a winery specifically, should be considering using them. Look after yourself. Have a great Valentine's Day. Be